This is the story of Nelson Mandela, the man who went from being a prisoner to the president of South Africa. It all started in the 1940s when black South Africans were being treated like dirt. They couldn't vote, they could travel freely, and they could even sit down at restaurants without being harassed by the police. At first, they just put him in jail. But then they decided to make an example out of him. It was hard work, but it gave him hope that one day he would be free. "I'm going to make your life a living hell." But Nelson just smiled and said, "No, it's you who will go down in history as a villain. I may be in prison, but I am still the people's president. And one day they will call me Madiba." And sure enough, that's what happened. And all the other prisoners looked up to him as a hero, even though he never complained about his situation. They charged him with sabotage and sentenced him to life in prison. He became a global icon, meeting with world leaders and inspiring people all over the world to fight for justice and equality. This made Nelson angry. So he joined a group called the African National Congress, which was trying to end this unjust system. People were dancing in the streets, singing songs and celebrating the one who had become a symbol of freedom for all South Africans. But the government didn't like this one bit. They saw Nelson as a threat and arrested him for his political activities. And that's all for today. Subscribe to this channel and see you in next video. For the next 27 years, Nelson became a prisoner number 46664. He spent his days working in the prison hospital, taking care of other prisoners. One day, the president of South Africa came up to Nelson and said, "You will never get out of prison, Mandela." In 1990, after serving 27 years in prison, Nelson Mandela was finally released. The whole country went crazy. And just like he had predicted, he became the first president of South Africa in 1994. But he didn't stop there. So remember the name Nelson Mandela because this was the man who went from being a prisoner to the president of South Africa.